one of the things I talked about in the book in terms of reactivity was I told the story of, I think it was a 2008 story of a, a pilot who brought a plane down, where but all of his engines failed. And he I don't know if you remember it, but
I do.
he landed in Hudson, and um, everybody got off. I mean, people they didn't even get wet. Didn't even get their suit. They might have got their ankles wet, but they didn't get even wet, and they kind of were safe. And he was hailed, of course. I mean, there were many things said about that. And one people said it was a miracle, and I love that idea. But only people said that he was a hero and all the rest of it. But when it boiled down to it, in an interview with him, what we found was that actually, his brain worked like it should have done, and he was trained to bring a plane down in a river. He was trained to do that. He was trained to know exactly what to do when his engines failed. Um, and he said that when he realised all his engines had failed, he just was terrified beyond belief, and it's the worst feelings he had in his life. But once he'd let himself have that feeling, his brain kicked in, and he remembered that if he had the training and he just had to put it into place, and that was what he did. Um, Captain Sullenberger, I remember his name very well, because you don't forget people that do things like that, do you?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
if ever I was in a plane where the engines failed, I would want someone like that driving it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I sort of put that in the book as a kind of example of, in a way, we're dealing with when we're dealing with reactive kids, we are landing those planes all the time for the child. We are helping because of those dreadful feelings that they have, and then we're helping them by saying, "Let's land the plane again today." And so we use that as our model, if you like, for we can do it. Our brains can find a place where we can soothe all of this reactiveness. We need to be quite good at doing it in ourselves.
Yeah, so that whole
Yeah.
experience of helping the child to soothe and to regulate, just like bringing a plane down that might crash land, I guess, or that
Yeah.
usually crash lands for the
Yeah.
child. But that's
It's
they can,
absolutely, yeah,
yeah, and they can have
yeah,
that different experience with the
yeah,
therapist and
yeah,
know that life can be different. And
yes,
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. And I think for foster parents and adoptive parents, and well, actually, just to be perfectly honest, just ordinary old parents these days with the things that children have to learn to
mm,
cope with in our stressful world. I think all parents need to be aware of, how can we help children be more mindful? How can we help them to land their plane, every day? How can we help them to fly, actually?